As the sun began to fall, our ancient ancestor felt something shift inside him, curiosity mixed with quiet unease. The day was ending. Every sound now felt sharper, every shadow longer. Night was approaching, and with it, the unknown, a rustle in the dark. A breath caught in his throat. Fear wasn't weakness, it was survival. He ran, not from cowardice, but from instinct. Sometimes retreating is the smartest move forward. He gathered those he loved, pulling them into safety. Protection mattered more than pride. Spark by spark, he created light from nothing. Hope often begins with a single small effort. Shadows danced on the walls, twisting fear into wonder. Even darkness can become something fascinating. Outside, the night howled. Inside, his heart pounded. Fear visits everyone, even the strongest among us. By firelight, his mind began to wander and wonder. Stillness gave birth to thought, and thought gave birth to meaning. Then, something outside caught his eye, and in that moment, everything was about to change. Slowly, fear began to settle into something quieter. Awareness. He wasn't just hiding anymore. He was watching, learning. For the first time, he looked up, really looked, at the stars. Wonder began to replace fear, one glance at a time. He started marking what he saw, scratching memories into stone. This wasn't just survival, it was the birth of thought. He turned to protect those smaller than him, those who depended on him. Responsibility gave his fear a new purpose. Even in danger, he stood his ground, spear in hand. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's standing despite it. He listened to those who came before him, soaking in their wisdom. Knowledge passed down was survival passed down too. Something inside him shifted. He felt steadier. Each night survived built quiet confidence within him. He touched the cold stone, feeling grounded, present, alive. Stillness became his strength, not his weakness. He held his loved ones close, calming their fears with his presence. Love became armor against the darkness outside. As he stepped back into the night, he wasn't the same man. Something inside him had quietly, powerfully changed. He began to read the world around him. Tracks, signs, patterns, observation became his greatest survival tool. He didn't panic at every shadow anymore. He studied them. Calm awareness was replacing blind fear. He built small rings of stone, learning to control fire's spread. Even ancient minds understood the power of structure. In the stillness of night, he found moments of simple peace. Even survival had room for small, quiet joys. Then, a roar, distant but real. His body froze instantly. Danger never fully disappears. It only waits. He ran, but not blindly. Every step was purposeful. He had learned panic kills, but controlled action saves. At the entrance, he stood between danger and his family. This is what real courage looks like, facing fear for others. He thrust his torch forward, fire becoming his greatest weapon. Light wasn't just comfort anymore. It was protection. The threat retreated into darkness, defeated by flame and will. He had faced the night, and the night had blinked first. He walked back inside, changed forever by what he survived. Each night made him a little braver, a little wiser. For the first time, his breathing slowed. His mind grew quiet. Peace doesn't come from safety alone. It comes from acceptance. He looked at the stars again, but this time, without fear. The same night had become something entirely different to him. He watched over his family, grateful for every breath they took. Survival had given way to something deeper, love and purpose. He breathed in the cool night air, fully, deeply, freely. He no longer feared the dark. He understood it. Sitting quietly, he realized how far he'd come since sunset. Growth often happens in silence, when no one is watching. He looked at his own shadow. Strange, yet familiar. Even in darkness, he was beginning to see himself clearly. A small smile crept onto his face, unplanned, genuine. Gratitude often arrives quietly, after the hardest moments pass. As dawn approached, he walked calmly along the river. Clarity comes after chaos. Always, without exception. He stood on the hill, watching the first light break through. Every long night eventually gives way to morning. The sun rose. and so did he, stronger than before. He hadn't just survived the night, he had grown from it. The sun rose, and with it, a new version of him stood tall. Every difficult night carries a sunrise on the other side. He returned to his family, greeted by their tired, grateful smiles. The hardest nights often lead to the warmest mornings. He picked up the stone he'd carved, proof of his growth. Even small acts in the dark leave lasting marks. He thanked the elder who had guided him with quiet wisdom. Wisdom shared in darkness becomes light for someone else. Standing where fear once gripped him, he now felt only peace. The place hadn't changed, but he had. He shared food with his family, grateful simply to be alive. Gratitude grows strongest in the moments right after struggle. He looked at his reflection and recognized someone stronger. Sometimes growth is invisible to others, but never to ourselves. From the highest rock, he saw the whole valley clearly now. Perspective is the gift that struggle leaves behind. He walked forward, no longer afraid of what the next night might bring. Facing one fear gives you the strength to face the next. What did ancient humans do during the night? They survived. They grew. They became stronger. And maybe, so can you with every dark night you face.